Listen, I'll show you this video. This administration has weaponized its power against us. This administration has weaponized its power against us. And they're using tactics of communism and Marxism when they blame the others for what they are doing. I'll show you this video. So you think this administration is good? Think they're doing a good job? You think, you know what? I'm just gonna show you the video. Then it's up to you if you wake up. It's up to you if you don't.
Secretary. The threat landscape has evolved considerably over the last 20 years.
They burned a stack of Bibles. If you are still viewing the BLM riots and the continued lockdowns and the closing of churches, but the opening of leftist political rallies and the closing of normal funerals, if you're still viewing that with befuddlement, you're not understanding the moment.
Antifa's an idea, not an organization.
Oh, you got it.
Not militia.
We are seeing an emerging threat, of course, over the last several years of the domestic violent extremist.
And I believe that the organization itself is using black people to advance a Marxist agenda, and the corporations, the schools, the churches, the people that have gotten behind Black Lives Matter, the organization, they think they're helping black people. They think they're showing support for black people, but actually it's the opposite.
Visit the Black Lives Matter website and read the list of demands. One of those demands proclaims, quote, "We disrupt the Western prescribed nuclear family structure requirement by supporting each other as extended families and villages that collectively care for one another."
It has a woman, Susan Rosenberg, sitting on its board of directors, deputy head, once arrested for her ties to a radical left terrorist group responsible for killing police and bombing. Here she is.
I just never stopped wanting to make revolution, but I was in possession of explosives and weapons when I was arrested.
The primary Black Lives Matter group is simply a project of another nonprofit called Thousand Currents. Now, why is this interesting? Well, it's interesting because the current vice chair of Thousand Currents is a woman called Susan Rosenberg. And she's a convicted terrorist who spent 16 years in federal prison before she was given a pardon by Bill Clinton on the very last day in office.
The individual here in the United States radicalized to violence.
Tonight, Portland police are wondering where the next attack will be. Last night, it was back at the Immigration and Customs Enforcement Office with dozens of federal officers inside. Portland police declared a riot after protesters started a fire,
Antifa's an idea, not an organization.
Oh, you got it.
Not militia.
broke several windows, and threw softball-sized rocks at officers.
We all should be condemning the violence that's occurring.
Antifa's an idea, not an organization.
Oh, you got it.
Not militia.
Increasingly, there are calls for citizens to rise up and say no more. Police Chief Chuck Lavelle wrote, "The solution is in a critical mass of community and partners coming together to denounce this criminal activity and call it out."
Antifa's an idea, not an organization.
Oh, you got it.
Not militia.
For the first time since his brutal beating over the weekend, Adam Hayner is speaking out, saying he stopped to help a transgender woman who was beaten and robbed. But then her assailants turned on him and his girlfriend.
Antifa's an idea, not an organization.
Oh, you got it.
Not
Get it.
militia.
I'm just trying to make sure she gets in the car and I get in the car and we both get out of there. And by the end of it, I'm wrecked and unconscious on the side of the road, and she's trying to figure out what happened to me.
Hayner says he was called a racist during the attack. Police are still looking for their main suspect, Marquise Love.
By a foreign terrorist ideology.
We actually do have an ideological frame. Myself and Alicia in particular are trained organizers. We are trained Marxists. We are super versed versed on sort of ideological theories.
but also an ideology of hate.
All murals, all stained glass windows of white Jesus and his European mother and their white friends should come down. They're a gross form of white supremacy, created as tools of oppression, racist propaganda.
Anti-government sentiment.
Antifa is an idea, not an organization.
Oh, you got it.
Not
Get it.
militia.
False narratives propagated on online platforms, even personal grievances.
Antifa is an idea, not an organization.
Oh, you got it.
Not militia.
For your safety, we ask residents to go inside your home. Failure to comply.
Is no one paying attention to this? Does no one see this happening? That's the DHS secretary saying that opinions he doesn't agree with expressed online, which most of us thought were constitutionally protected. In fact, we thought that was the whole reason.
What they say, MAGA is the biggest threat. President Donald Trump is the biggest threat. All this assault, supported by the Democrat Party, supported by the far left, supported by Joe Biden, supported by his administration. We just saw all of it, supported by the Democrat Party. But nobody condemned them, though, right? Nobody can condemn them for all this, right? You Christians burning the Bibles and all that. Nobody can condemn them for burning the Bibles, right? All that you just saw. You transgender woman got beat up. A man, whatever, something like that. I don't know. But I can't say the word right. Ideology. That's your mind frame to changing something. That's indoctrination. I can't say the word right a ton of times. Sorry, but this how they change into dictatorship, communism, Marxism. This how they do it. Joe Biden and the Democrat Party, the party of slavery, the party of Jim Crow, the party of KKK, the true party of white supremacy and all that. But you being tricked. You think he's doing something. Somebody say, oh, he's doing great. He's getting back on track. No, that's an illusion. They're pushing Marxism. They're pushing communism. They've been doing it. I just showed you a video. Pay attention. Listen. Quit being brainwashed.